There is a certain invisible thread that connects man with his supply. It is not woven of gold or silver, nor of the paper you call currency, but of thought, word, and faith. Many people chase money as if it were a fugitive, frightened creature. Yet in truth, money is but a faithful servant, awaiting your command. Your words are your wand, and what you say to money is what money becomes to you. When you speak of lack, you send your servant away with empty hands. When you speak of abundance, you bid him return with treasures. Most men treat money as an inanimate object, cold, lifeless, without intelligence. But all things in this universe are charged with vibration. Even gold listens, paper responds, and the very air is alive with your spoken word. You cannot command what you secretly despise. Many people curse money in one breath and pray for it in the next. They say, "It never stays with me," or, "I can't afford that," and wonder why the invisible river of supply runs dry. The subconscious is a faithful mirror. It reflects back what you impress upon it. Speak to money as you would to a trusted friend. Greet it with gratitude when it comes, and bid it go forth joyfully when you spend, knowing it will return multiplied. Every coin and note is a messenger. If you tell it, "You never last," it will obey. If you say, "You are always increasing and bringing more of your friends," it will hasten to fulfill your decree. Just as one would not scold a loyal servant for carrying out a task, so must you not scold your supply for the form it takes or the speed with which it comes. Praise it, bless it, and you will find it answering you in kind. Imagine money as a willing and devoted companion. When you awaken in the morning, you might say, "Good morning, faithful friend. Thank you for always flowing to me in perfect ways." When you see it in your purse, say, "You are happy to be with me, and I am happy to be with you. You are multiplying even now." And when it leaves your hands, bless it on its way, go forth and do good, and return with your increase. To speak thus is not folly, it is law. The same divine intelligence that moves the planets listens to your word. Money is but one of its servants. Treat it with the courtesy you would extend to any guest you wish to remain. Never speak to it in tones of fear or resentment, for it will take its cue from you and behave accordingly. If you would change your conditions, begin with your conversation. Speak to your money as if it were alive, because in the realm of the unseen it is. Your word is the wand that stirs it into action, summons it from unexpected places, and keeps it joyfully in your company. Every word you speak is a seed you plant in the fertile soil of the subconscious mind, and each seed will grow according to its nature. If you plant seeds of lack, you will harvest scarcity. If you plant seeds of abundance, your life will blossom with prosperity. Most people speak carelessly about money, not realizing that their very conversation determines what they experience. When someone says, "I'm broke," they have issued a command to the unseen forces that govern their affairs, and these forces will faithfully produce conditions to match those words. The universe does not discriminate between jest and earnestness. The subconscious mind receives all words as truth. Consider the child who is told repeatedly, "We can't afford it," or "Money doesn't grow on trees." These statements, impressed over and over, become the child's inner law, and in adulthood, he will unconsciously recreate those same limitations. The mind is a builder, and words are the blueprints. When you speak of lack, you are handing the architect of your life a design for poverty. When you speak of wealth and sufficiency, you provide the plan for prosperity. It is not enough to think well of money in private moments, and then speak poorly of it in daily conversation. Speech is the audible form of thought, and every spoken word carries vibration. These vibrations go forth, attracting conditions, people, and opportunities that match their tone. This is why some people seem to be endlessly fortunate. They speak the language of abundance naturally, without contradiction, so the law can work unopposed. Others speak abundance in one breath and cancel it in the next with worry, complaint, or self-deprecating humor. The spoken word not only affects the mind of the speaker, but also influences those who hear it. Words create atmosphere. When you speak prosperity, You lift the mental climate around you, making it fertile ground for opportunities. When you speak of failure or limitation, you lower that climate. And even those around you may begin to feel the chill of discouragement. Many people have never been taught that every casual remark about money is a decree. A sigh of, "I can't afford it," is as much a command as a strong affirmation of wealth. It's just working in the opposite direction. Your relationship with money begins in your inner world, but is maintained through your outer expressions. The law of prosperity responds to your belief, and belief is most clearly revealed by what you say when you are not trying to be positive. If, without thinking, you say, "I never have enough," it means that somewhere in your inner pattern you have accepted insufficiency as truth. To shift your financial reality, you must train your tongue as much as your mind. Speaking abundance is not pretending, it is declaring the reality you are aligning yourself with, even before you see it manifest. You might say, "But I am only describing my present condition." Yet the law works forward, not backward. The present condition is but the harvest of past words and beliefs. To create a new condition, you must plant new seeds. When you speak, "Money is always coming to me in perfect ways," you are not lying, you are instructing the unseen channels to open. When you say, "I can always afford what I need," you are shifting the blueprint from limitation to supply. The words may feel strange at first, as if you are contradicting reality, but in truth you are speaking to a higher reality. The reality that shapes the future. Think of the times you have spoken in fear about bills, debts, or expenses, and remember how such conversations left you feeling heavier, more restricted, and more anxious. Now imagine the opposite, speaking in terms of freedom, supply, and sufficiency. The very act of saying, "I always have more than enough," causes a lightness in the mind, an openness in the heart. That shift is not mere emotion. It is a change in vibration, and vibration is the language the universe responds to. To harness this principle, it is important to become conscious of your habitual speech. Notice the phrases you repeat about money, especially in casual talk. Do you declare that things are too expensive, or that you are barely getting by? These phrases, no matter how small, are like constant drops of water wearing away the stone of your prosperity. Replace them deliberately. Instead of "too expensive," say, "That's worth the investment." Instead of "barely getting by," say, "I am increasing in wealth every day." Each substitution plants a new seed, and over time, the harvest will reveal the change. This practice is not about ignoring difficulties, but about refusing to anchor them in place with your words. Even in moments where the outer evidence is scarce, your words can summon unseen help. Money responds to the vibration of certainty and gratitude, not desperation. When you say, "I am rich in opportunity, and money flows to me easily," you create an energetic invitation. Opportunities may appear, people may come with offers, and unexpected channels may open, all because your words set the tone. Those who have mastered this art speak of wealth as naturally as they breathe. They do not plead with money to come. They command it gently through confident speech. They praise what they have, speak well of what is coming, and never curse the supply. Their words are not random, they are purposeful, chosen to align with the law of increase. Over time, this steady speech creates a steady flow, and what once seemed like chance becomes a predictable result. Money to most people is an object, a piece of paper, a coin, a number on a screen. Yet the truth is that everything in the universe, even what seems lifeless, is alive with vibration and responsive to the energy you give it. When you begin to treat money as if it were a loyal, living companion rather than a cold object, you step into a different relationship with it, one where mutual respect and appreciation replace fear and distrust. A loyal companion is welcomed warmly, spoken to kindly, and trusted without suspicion. When you regard money in the same way, you invite it to stay, to grow, and to serve you faithfully. Consider the way you would treat a dear friend who has stood by you for years. You would not constantly tell them they are unreliable. You would not accuse them of abandoning you, and you would not speak ill of them to others. Yet many people speak to money in exactly that way. They say, "It never sticks around," or "It runs away as soon as I get it," as if money were a faithless partner. Such words carry the energy of rejection, and anything treated as unwanted will not linger. If you believed money were a true companion, you would speak words of welcome. "I am so glad you are here. I love having you around. You are safe and appreciated with me." A loyal companion also enjoys being included in your plans. If you were to plan a trip or an event, you would consider your friend's comfort, their role, and their enjoyment. Treat money the same way. When you plan your finances, include money in the vision as an active participant, not a burden. Instead of thinking, "I can't spend this because it will be gone," you might think, "When I spend this, it goes out joyfully to make room for more to come." Just as a friend might leave your home to complete a task for you and then return. Money leaves your possession to circulate in the world, doing its work before it finds its way back multiplied. Gratitude is one of the strongest bonds between companions, and money is no exception. A friend who is constantly unappreciated will eventually drift away, but one who is thanked and valued will draw nearer. When money comes into your life, whether a large sum or a small coin, pause to acknowledge it. Thank it for arriving, for being a part of your experience, for what it allows you to do. This creates a warmth in the relationship that goes beyond calculation. Money, like a loyal friend, senses when it is valued and responds by finding ways to be in your presence more often. Another mark of a loyal relationship is trust. Imagine a friend who offers to help you, yet you doubt their ability at every turn, questioning whether they can deliver on their promises. Over time, that doubt would strain the bond. Money behaves similarly. If you constantly worry that it will not come, that it will leave too soon, or that there will not be enough, you are sending a signal of mistrust. A loyal friend, when trusted, often exceeds expectations. So too does money when you hold it in the light of confidence. Trust that money knows how to return to you, that it has many routes you cannot yet see, and that its loyalty is strengthened when you treat it as steadfast rather than elusive. How you speak about money when it is not present is equally important. A true friend does not appreciate being criticized behind their back. If, when money is low, you tell others that it is always letting you down, you are speaking against the very companion you wish to draw near. In a relationship, words of faith and affirmation are like nourishment, while words of complaint are like poison. Speaking of money in a way that honors its role, no matter how much is currently visible, keeps the bond strong. You might say to yourself and others, "Money and I have a harmonious relationship. It always shows up when I need it," or "It enjoys being with me." Treating money as a loyal companion also involves generosity. A friend enjoys being introduced to new people, taken on adventures and included in acts of kindness. When you use money to bless others, to bring joy, or to create something beautiful, you are allowing it to share in experiences that expand its influence. Money that is hoarded in fear becomes stagnant, like a friend kept locked in a room. But money that is allowed to move with love returns with new stories, new energy, and new opportunities. If you picture money as a friend walking beside you, you begin to notice the subtle ways your attitude shapes the journey. Do you walk with money in tense silence, afraid it might slip away, glancing at it suspiciously? Or do you walk in easy companionship, speaking warmly, laughing together, and trusting it will match your pace? This shift in perception transforms not only your emotional state, but also your practical experience. A relaxed, trusting attitude toward a loyal companion fosters closeness, and closeness in turn creates reliability. Even the physical care of money mirrors the treatment of a valued friend. Crumpling bills, tossing coins carelessly, or letting financial records become disorganized sends a signal of disregard. In contrast, handling money with respect, keeping it orderly, counting it with appreciation, placing it in a clean wallet or space, reinforces the message that you value its presence. Just as a friend feels honored when treated with care, money responds to being treated well. A loyal companion is also understood and accepted for what they are. Money is neither good nor bad in itself. It takes on the qualities of the one who uses it. When you stop projecting blame or guilt onto money, and instead see it as a willing ally, you free it from the emotional baggage that often drives it away. Many people unconsciously push money away because they have been taught that it is dangerous, corrupting, or hard to manage. But if you saw money as a trusted friend who wants to help you fulfill your purpose, you would invite it freely and joyfully into your life, knowing it will serve your highest intentions. Blessing money when it comes and when it goes is one of the most powerful ways to align yourself with the law of increase. Every transaction is an exchange of energy, and the attitude you hold in that moment determines whether the flow will grow or shrink. Most people welcome money with relief and let it leave with regret, which is like inviting a guest into your home with joy and then slamming the door when they depart. This creates a vibration of fear, signaling to the unseen supply that you do not truly trust its return. When you bless money in both directions, you affirm that it is part of an ongoing cycle and that its coming and going are equally good. When money comes to you, whether in the form of wages, a gift, a sale, or an unexpected windfall, pause to acknowledge it with gratitude. Do not rush past the moment or diminish it because the amount seems small. Every sum, large or small, is evidence of supply moving toward you, and blessing it strengthens the current. You might say, "Thank you for coming to me. I bless you and welcome you into my life. You are free to grow and multiply." Such words carry a warmth that infuses the money with a friendly vibration, making it eager to bring more of its kind to you. Many people bless money only when it comes, yet feel uneasy, resentful, or fearful when it leaves. They pay a bill with a sigh, buy something with a grimace, or send money to someone with the thought that they are losing it. This attitude places a shadow on the flow, for money does not truly leave. It moves into circulation, carrying your energy with it. If you release it in fear, it carries fear forward. If you release it in blessing, it carries blessing forward. You can transform every expenditure into an investment in your own prosperity by blessing the money as it goes out. For example, when paying a bill, you might say, "I bless this money as it goes forth to bless others, and I know it returns to me multiplied." Blessing money as it goes keeps the cycle unbroken. Imagine a river where the water is praised when it enters but cursed when it leaves. Soon the current would stagnate. The same is true for financial flow. A healthy relationship with supply honors both the inflow and the outflow, knowing they are part of the same movement. The more joyfully you can release money, the more freely it will return. This practice also changes the emotional atmosphere around money. Instead of associating outgoing money with loss, you begin to associate it with expansion. Paying for something becomes an act of contribution, a way of sending good into the world. If you buy food, bless the farmers, transporters, and workers who made it possible. If you pay for a service, bless the person who provided it and the benefit you receive. When you infuse each transaction with appreciation, you transform it into a spiritual act. The money you send out carries that energy forward, and like attracts like, it will return to you in kind. Blessing money in both directions builds trust in the law of supply. You no longer see money as a rare guest who visits unpredictably, but as a faithful traveler who moves in and out of your life, always returning with gifts from afar. Each time you bless it as it leaves, you are essentially giving it a mission to bless others and to bring back more of its friends. Over time, you will notice that your financial life feels lighter, freer, and more abundant because you have removed the resistance that once blocked the flow. It is also important to bless money even before it arrives. If you are expecting a payment, a gift, or a sale, bless it in advance. Say, "I bless the money on its way to me, and I know it comes with ease and joy." This anticipatory blessing creates a magnetic pull, preparing the way for the transaction to unfold smoothly. When it arrives, bless it again for fulfilling its journey. Then, when it departs for its next task, bless it yet again. In this way, you create a constant atmosphere of blessing around money, and that atmosphere becomes your new normal. For many, the greatest shift comes when they begin blessing money that leaves in the form of debt payments or taxes. These are often accompanied by resentment, yet they can be transformed into powerful affirmations of wealth. When you pay a debt, bless the opportunity to release it and the freedom it brings. When you pay taxes, bless the contribution to shared services and the evidence that you have earned enough to be taxed. This reframing turns what once felt like loss into an expression of gratitude and strength. The key is consistency. Blessing money once or twice will feel pleasant, but making it a habit rewires your relationship with money entirely. Over time, you will find that you naturally feel grateful in both directions, without forcing the feeling. This is when the flow truly opens, when blessing money is as natural as breathing. Your financial life becomes a harmonious cycle, where giving and receiving are equally joyful, and where every movement of money affirms the abundance that is always present. Speaking lack or resentment toward money is like pouring sand into the gears of your own prosperity. Every word you utter carries the seed of creation, and when that seed is saturated with the energy of complaint, criticism, or fear, it produces a harvest in kind. People often wonder why their finances never improve, yet their everyday conversation is filled with statements that affirm shortage and unworthiness. I can't afford that. Money is so hard to come by. It never stays with me. Or, I'll never get ahead, without realizing they are issuing repeated commands to the subconscious mind and to the unseen law that governs supply. These commands are faithfully obeyed, not because the universe wishes to deprive them, but because it reflects whatever is consistently impressed upon it. Resentment toward money often comes from misunderstanding its role. Many have been taught that money is the cause of greed, corruption, or unhappiness, and so they approach it with suspicion. Yet money is not a moral agent. It is a tool, a symbol of exchange, and a servant of intention. To resent it is to shut the door on the very means by which much good could be done. If you resent a person, you avoid them. If you resent money, you push it away energetically. The law of attraction works impartially. Whatever you speak and feel repeatedly, you draw to you or drive from you according to the tone of your energy. Speaking lack is a habit often formed unconsciously, passed down through family phrases and cultural beliefs. Someone might recall hearing parents say, "We just get by," "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "Rich people are selfish," and without questioning, they adopt these as truths. Over time, these spoken beliefs become internal laws that govern what the person experiences. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a statement said in jest and one said in earnest. It simply takes the word as instruction. A casual, "I'm broke," plants the same seed as a despairing, "I'll never have enough," and if repeated often enough, the results will match the declaration. To break the habit of speaking lack, one must first become aware of it. This requires listening to your own words as if they belong to someone else. Notice how you describe your financial situation in conversation with friends, in moments of frustration, or when opportunities arise. Do you immediately voice reasons why something is impossible, why there will not be enough, why the cost is too high? These words reveal the deeper beliefs that are shaping your reality. Once identified, they can be replaced with language that affirms abundance, possibility, and sufficiency. Resentment can be more subtle than outright criticism. It may appear as a sigh when paying for something, a muttered complaint about prices, or envy when seeing someone else prosper. Each of these is a small thread in the larger fabric of scarcity thinking. The danger is not in a single remark, but in the steady weaving of such threads over time, creating a tapestry that depicts life as a constant struggle for not enough. If that is the image held in speech and thought, the law will faithfully reproduce it in experience. When you speak words of lack, You are not only impressing your own subconscious but also influencing the energy of those around you. Words carry vibration beyond the self. In a household where financial conversations are dominated by complaint and fear, every member begins to tune their energy to that frequency. This collective vibration then draws experiences that confirm the spoken words, creating a cycle that appears inescapable to those within it. Changing the language breaks the cycle. The shift begins by refusing to speak of limitation as if it were fact, even when the outer evidence seems to demand it. This is not denial of reality, but an intentional choice to speak from the truth of abundance rather than the appearance of lack. For example, instead of saying, "I can't afford that," one might say, "That is not in my current plan. But I know the means will appear when it is right." Instead of saying, "Money is so hard to come by," one might say, "Money flows to me in the perfect way and at the perfect time." These statements keep the door open to possibility and prevent the subconscious from locking into a pattern of shortage. It is equally important to cleanse the emotional tone of resentment from your speech. When you see others prosper, speak blessings over them rather than envy. Say, "Their success shows me what is possible for me as well," or, "I am glad to see abundance flowing so freely." This not only shifts your own vibration, but also signals to the law that you are in harmony with prosperity, wherever it appears. Resentment creates division, blessing creates unity, and unity with the energy of abundance allows it to flow toward you without resistance. Many find that the habit of speaking lack or resentment is so ingrained that it emerges before they even notice it. In such cases, immediate correction is key. The moment a limiting statement leaves your mouth, follow it with a deliberate reversal. If you say, "I never have enough money," quickly add, "But I know that is changing now. Money is beginning to flow to me in greater and greater ways." This consistent correction gradually trains the mind and softens the old patterns until they fade entirely. It is also valuable to adopt a discipline of gratitude in your speech, especially in situations where you once would have complained. Instead of grumbling about a bill, give thanks for the service or product it represents. Instead of lamenting a price increase, affirm that there is always enough to meet your needs. By infusing your words with gratitude, you replace the vibration of resentment with one of welcome, and what you welcome is eager to remain in your life. When you understand that every word is a seed, and every seed produces after its kind, you become more watchful of what you plant. Speaking lack plants lack. Speaking resentment plants more reasons to resent. But when your words are chosen with the intention of affirming abundance, generosity, and trust, you plant a garden from which only prosperity can grow. This is not about pretending to feel what you do not, but about directing your speech in a way that shapes your emotions toward a higher truth. Over time, your words and feelings align, and the reality you once strained to believe becomes the reality you live without effort. Commanding abundance with gratitude and faith is the practice of speaking to your supply as if it were already present, treating it with the warmth of a trusted friend and the certainty of an expected guest. It is not enough to hope for money vaguely or to wish for wealth, while secretly doubting its arrival. The creative law responds to the firmness of your word, and that firmness is rooted in faith. Faith is the invisible bridge between your spoken decree and its physical manifestation, and gratitude is the golden thread that holds the bridge together. When you command abundance, you are not begging, pleading, or bargaining. You are declaring the truth of your supply with authority and joy, knowing the law must fulfill it. Faith in this sense is not blind. It is the knowledge that abundance is your natural state, that supply is already prepared for you, and that your word sets it in motion. When you speak from faith, you speak with the tone of one giving instructions to a loyal servant, certain they will be carried out. There is no desperation in your voice, no worry about how the task will be done. Only the clear command, supported by the belief that it is already accomplished in the unseen. This is why your words must be specific enough to carry conviction, but free of grasping or strain. Money flows to me in perfect ways now. Carries more power than, I wish I had money. For the first is a command, and the second is a lament. Gratitude is the companion to faith, for it confirms that you believe your word has already been fulfilled. When you give thanks for something not yet visible, you demonstrate that you accept its reality before it appears. This act of thanksgiving accelerates the manifestation because it removes doubt. Doubt is the shadow that slows the arrival of your supply. Gratitude is the light that clears the way. By saying, I am so grateful for the increasing flow of money in my life. Even when your bank balance is small, you are aligning with the higher truth rather than the temporary appearance. Commanding abundance is not about arrogance or force. It is about alignment with the law of increase. You are not ordering the universe as a tyrant, but speaking the language it understands. The universe is structured to respond to clear intention, and your spoken word, charged with faith and gratitude, is the clearest signal you can send. The moment you issue the command, the unseen supply begins to rearrange circumstances, opportunities, and channels to bring the fulfillment into form. You may not see the mechanism, but you can trust that the process is underway. Just as you trust that a seed you plant will grow without your digging it up each day to check. The power of command lies in its consistency. A single statement of abundance can spark change, but steady, unwavering declarations create momentum. Each day, speak your abundance into existence as naturally as you might greet a friend. Begin the morning with words such as, I command the flow of perfect wealth into my life today. I am grateful that it is already mine. Carry this tone throughout the day, not as a rigid ritual, but as a natural expression of your belief. The steadier your command, the more confidently the law can work without interference from contradictory thoughts and words. When you speak your command, visualize the feeling of the abundance as if it were already surrounding you. See yourself using the money, enjoying the freedom it brings, contributing to others, and living without financial strain. Allow gratitude to rise naturally from that vision, and let your words carry that feeling. Words without emotion are hollow, but words infused with gratitude and faith vibrate with life. The law responds to the vibration as much as to the content of the words, so speak with warmth, conviction, and the quiet assurance that you are heard. Commanding abundance also means commanding your own inner state. You cannot declare wealth in one moment and then dwell on fear of lack in the next without diluting your command. This does not mean ignoring challenges, but meeting them with the same steady faith. This situation is only temporary. My supply is already here and increasing. By maintaining the tone of command, you prevent external appearances from swaying your belief, and you keep the channel open for the supply to reach you. Another important element is to issue your command without attachment to the specific channel through which abundance will arrive. Faith does not dictate the path, it trusts the law to choose the perfect one. You may imagine possible ways your wealth could come, but you must remain open to the unexpected. Often, the supply arrives through avenues you could not have planned, and by leaving room for the law to operate freely, you allow it to bring you more than you could have imagined. Gratitude plays a vital role here, for it welcomes every form the abundance takes, knowing it is all part of the same flow. Your command can also extend beyond personal needs. When you speak abundance for others, you reinforce your own connection to supply. Saying, I command prosperity for all who cross my path. I am grateful for their increasing wealth and happiness, creates a larger field of abundance, in which you also live. The law of circulation ensures that what you send forth returns to you. And commanding abundance for others with genuine gratitude and faith multiplies the flow in your own life. This practice turns your words into instruments of creation. Every time you speak with faith, you are building an unseen structure that will eventually manifest in the visible. Every time you give thanks before seeing the result, you are adding strength to that structure. The more often you do it, the more natural it becomes, until speaking abundance feels as normal as breathing. The law responds faithfully to this combination of command, gratitude, and faith, for they together form a vibration that cannot be denied.